Let me let everybody enter the chat. Let everybody enter the chat. Okay. I'm gonna let everybody come in. Let's give it a bit of time. I see 3 people in the chat. Let me give everybody a second because there's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Alexander Isak. We're going to talk about Darwin Nunez. We're going to talk about Harvey Elliott. We're going to talk about all that situation. And yeah, there's a lot to cover when it comes to that. So yeah, make sure you guys are subscribed, have the bell icon, liking the video, all of the good stuff. Good morning, man. I am tired as hell, man, because I'm still getting used to adapting back to the UK time zone because I haven't been on this channel in a minute. I was on Enz's channel yesterday, talking about all of this and talking about the possibilities of what Liverpool can do in terms of the transfer market, how much we have spent and how much we are going to spend going forward. And yeah, man, it's been a lot, man, that's been going on. It's been a lot that's been going on. And with this whole ISAK saga, yes, jet lag, man, California time, 8 hours behind. I was struggling to sleep last night, but we adjust as time goes on. As time goes on, we adjust to everything that's going on, but step by step, bit by bit, and you just like what people say, you just gotta roll with it. You just gotta keep pushing, you just gotta keep grinding, and you just gotta keep working, man. And we see what happens in terms of that. Let me see if I can open up another tab because this is gonna help me look at any potential news. I'm getting a phone call right now. 1 second, guys. Give me 1 sec. Okay, guys, I had to sort out. But yeah, as far as everything that's been going on in terms of the whole ISAK situation, we're gonna talk a lot about it. There's a lot to talk about. So let me share you my screen. Okay, let's see if we can sell Harvey Elliott. Then pretty much all our unwanted players are gone. The bar has been risen, and this is great news for us fans. It's great news for us fans, but what you got to keep in mind is this here. Harvey Elliott was one of the few players that can play on the right side of midfield. Let me put this here. Let me undraw the curtain so we can get a bit of light here. Okay. Let me tone this up a bit. Because okay. So as far as Harvey Elliott, because let's touch on that real quick. Harvey Elliott, Darwin Nunez, let's touch on that real quick because Isak is the main event. Let's be honest, Isak is the main event. So let me bring up this comment again. It is a great time, but what we need to be wary of is good morning. You never walk alone. We got 25 people in the stream. Make sure you guys slap the like button. We're gonna cover a lot. 25 people in the stream. We got a lot to cover. Okay, 29 people in the stream now. But one thing I would like to say is this, that's very important is, yes, we're offloading a lot of players, but is the players we want available? And when you raise the standard and when you raise the bar, and when players are very self-aware of their ability and how good they are, it's gonna be hard to sell them on certain roles unless your team's constantly gonna be changing, which everybody knows that to a certain extent, you're pretty much rolling out with the same lineup and the same teams. Obviously, when you fatigue kicks in, when you get into the part of the season when you're playing 3 games a week, things may get a little bit techie in terms of having to manage your squad and having to rotate things. But you need your Harvey Elliott's or players like that, especially players that fit the homegrown quota, which Harvey Elliott does. So when you look at it this way, unless someone like Rio is stepping in and covering Gakpo, I expect Gakpo to play more games. If we're looking at senior attackers and people that can play the 10 position, we are kind of light there, unless you're trying to shoehorn and shift people into certain different positions. So let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. So Nunez is gone. Chiesa is basically gone. Harvey Elliott is gonna leave. Diaz is gone. So now we're looking at a front line of Gakpo. We're looking at a front line of Gakpo on the left, Ekatike down the middle, and Salah on the right. Outside of them three, we have no other attackers. And yes, you can say Ben Doak, you can say your Rios, but if you turn to your bench, us fans, as much as we're excited about Rio, we are not that confident on that. So if we're in a situation where we're getting where we're getting quality that can supplement that, that's cool. Because even if we do get Isak, we're still looking light in the ass, if we're being honest. Because as much as how people feel about Nunez, he did save us in some games off the bench. And we don't really have anyone that could do that at this current moment in time. Let me bring up some comments and bring up some stuff. Okay, let's bring up. Okay, let's see. Good deal on Nunez. Now let's get Gehi and Isak. Yeah, let's get Gehi and Isak. Maybe a winger. Maybe a winger. Because when Salah leaves, we're going to have to shoehorn a couple of players. And you guys got to keep in mind, the people that said they want that Frimpong is going to be the right winger. He can't be the right winger if Conor Bradley can't stay fit. That's the biggest thing. Frimpong can play right wing, but he can't be the right winger if Conor Bradley can't stay fit. That's one thing we got to keep in mind. Conor Bradley's fitness is a major concern. When it comes down to all of this, it comes down to the fact that, yes, we can have less of depth in certain positions, but the players that we have there have to. We're not getting Rodrigo. We're not getting Rodrigo. I can tell you that for free. If we get, obviously, if you look at how much we're spending, Rodrigo, Fofana is more realistic than Rodrigo. Because what you guys got to keep in mind is this. And this is let me bring up more comments. Okay, no offense to Darwin, Harvey, and Lucho, but they're the past now, and we're moving on. Moving on to who? That like I don't mind these players going, but I want to know who we're moving on to. You get what I mean? Like, we can have these players leave, but we need to have bodies. We need to have bodies, man. The reason why Arsenal struggled, because when certain players got injured, they were cooked. I don't want us to be in that situation. So as much as these players aren't good, they are good enough to a lot of people's eyes. Obviously, they are, because people are paying premium for these players. You get what I mean? Chelsea have 2 or 3 people in multiple positions. Man City have 2 or 3 people in multiple positions. Arsenal are trying to get 2 or 3 people in multiple positions. This is not happening, because what? Rodrigo leaves to battle it out with Diaz, and let's say he loses the battle to Diaz, and now he's back on the bench again in the same situation that he was at Real Madrid in a shittier weather. Because you guys know that UK weather is nothing like that Spanish weather, man. Okay. Fofana or Barcola. Barcola's the same thing. Barcola and Fofana, I feel like you can kind of convince him to battle it out, because Fofana was a starting winger, and obviously when you go to a club like Liverpool, you're upgrading. But Barcola is a tough situation, because Like someone said in the live stream that I was on yesterday, Barcola is it's like you have a group of attractive women, yeah, and then you have the least attractive one, but the least attractive one is still all right. The least attractive one is it still looks good, but she's the least attractive one. The players that you want, or the players that you would get excited about if you're going to PSG, is a Kvaratskhelia, is a Ousmane Dembele, is a Desiree Doué. Barcola is kind of the one where you're just like, he's good, but he ain't no Kvaratskhelia. He's good, but he ain't no Desiree Doué. You get what I mean? Those are the players that you would want if you were to go to a PSG. Okay, like and subscribe. Yes, everybody, like and subscribe. I'm gonna check the likes because I need to make sure you guys are liking. I need to see what the likes are. I need to make sure you guys are liking. Okay. Yeah, like and subscribe. Okay, let's see. We definitely could do with the second CF, but a center back. Of course. Here's the thing. The center back situation is the most important situation because we know Konate's injury record. Last season was Konate's fully fit season. Maybe this could be a turn for Konate in terms of him building up fitness and whatnot. But if I'm Liverpool, you get Mark Gahey, and then you get a young centre back, and then you got that position covered. You get the experience of Gahey, and then you get a young centre back to come in. That other guy that we were linked with, that we can bring in as well. Okay. Too much selling and no replacements equals an imbalanced squad. I 100% agree. This is what I'm talking about. Everybody's excited at getting rid of players that they don't like. But no one's talking about what that means for the team, what that means for depth, how much it is going to be to replace some of these players. You get what I mean? Okay. Isak is the priority and only priority. Fabrizio has stated this. No talks or bids for Barcola as PSG do not want to sell. It's a smokescreen. Of course, but what you got to understand is this. When it comes down to all of this stuff here, we have to stack our replacements in case the Isak deal doesn't go through. Obviously, I expect the Isak deal to go through because he's kicked up the fuss and he ain't willing to compromise. Did I expect this from someone like Isak? No. But when you have agents and people whispering in your ear and saying that, bro, this is the only way out. Newcastle are not going to let you leave by you going, if a fee can be agreed, then I will leave. That logic ain't going to work in this scenario. That logic ain't going to work. That logic ain't going to fly. And that logic is just not going to be enough to get out of a 3-year deal while being their prized asset in a market where they couldn't even attract Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue will reject Newcastle. Lily Phillips will reject Newcastle. They can't attract any of those people at this point in time because when you look at this, this team right now, this team, Newcastle, then the Champions League. But the thing about it is, yeah, Man United are beating them to signings by saying we are Man United because no one feels like Newcastle's what Newcastle is doing is stable. No one feels like there's stability. That's the problem. Guys, we got 50 people in this chat. Make sure you slap the like button because we are just getting warmed up. But yeah, Newcastle can't attract anybody. So that's really why Liverpool are lining up replacements unless Newcastle just try and strong arm Isak and try and force him to stay. Stupid decision, but they can't, like I said, they can't attract Bonnie Blue. They can't attract Lily Phillips. They can't attract anybody at this moment in time. No one wants to play for Newcastle. Their Champions League football is fraudulent. There's like the guy that never got chicks that suddenly gets money to try and buy chicks, and the chicks still don't want him, even with the bag. You get what I mean? Not it for them, you know? It's just peak. Okay. Let's see. Okay, maybe. Yeah, that's what I said. Young up and coming centre back and Mark Gahey will be good. Okay. I don't see where Barcola would play. I do see where Barcola would play. Barcola has higher potential than Gakpo. Barcola could actually potentially dislodge Gakpo. Gakpo is good. but there are wingers out there that are better, in my opinion, than Gakpo. Gakpo is really one of those players that if you ain't getting output, I ain't really feeling you on the wing like that. Okay, let's see. Nah, he's a good player. Take Barcola any day. Of course you'll take Barcola any day, but he ain't Desert Due. He ain't Cavaschellia. Like I said, he is the ugly chick out of bad chicks. He is the ugly chicks. He's the ugliest chick out of a group of attractive chicks. Like I said, the whole attractive chicks are fine. They're all good looking, but you got the least attractive one. You're looking at the least attractive one. You get what I mean? This is more like it. We should do something like this. That would be good. Okay. No point in keeping a player who's not. Okay. Fair enough. After watching the community shield, as it would give Slot a clear view on Gehi. So, no. And let me tell you why no. At this point in time, you don't judge a player of one game. But Liverpool have done their research. Liverpool have done their homework. Whether Gehi plays amazing, whether he doesn't have the best performance, Liverpool know what Gehi does on a consistent basis. So that won't really give us an indicator. Quiet from crib home. Isak has been unsettled at Newcastle for nearly a year. Newcastle are most at fault for this entire. Of course, Newcastle at fault, but Isak's at fault as well for going about it. Is it Liverpool are just a club interested in signing a good player? We all know this. Liverpool are just a club interested in signing a good player. We got 55 people in the stream. Slap the like button. Okay. Newcastle can't get any sign. Newcastle can't get players signings for them. Yeah, they can't. I butchered the way I read that, but they can't. Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, I think we're definitely interested in Leone and Gehi. Isak is a matter of when, not if. No need for anyone to panic. How can Isak play for Newcastle now when he wasn't invited to the family? But hey man, you know what they say, man. Sometimes you can't have people coming in the cookout. They're disrupting the vibes and the flow, and Isak has been disrupting the vibes and the flow. Okay, Newcastle have a free run for Jackson. They are in talks already. Yeah, Fabrizio's confirmed that Jackson wants to leave because Jackson wants game time. And that makes sense because he's third choice now. Okay, Liverpool will pay 120 million plus 15 million. Source? You have a source for this? Because I would like to see that. Okay. Yes, Due is better than Barcola. Let's see this. Okay, that's a bot. All right. Yeah, Due is better than Barcola. Now we've catched up. Okay, so we've spoken about Harvey Elliott. We've spoken about Darwin Nunez, kind of, but we will come back to that. Let's talk about Alexander the Great. Let's talk about Alexander the Great. And this is this guy right here. Alexander Isak. Okay. Alexander Isak. I want to maximize it. No, I do not want to maximize it. Let's keep it like this. Let's go here. And let's make it bigger. And then we go here. Okay. So as you guys can see here, Liverpool are now exploring the market for a new attacker. Alexander Isak remains a top priority. Liverpool will bid again if Newcastle offer encouragement. Liverpool have a specific criteria. Any attacker, Isak or other, must be of a substantial quality to start rather than signs for squad depth and be available at a fair value. It's why Liverpool only bid it's why Liverpool will only bid again for Isak if he is generally attainable. Okay. Okay, so Liverpool basically going for Isak if he can be guaranteed, because it's long. Let's be honest. Let's be honest now. Let's be honest now. Let me stop sharing the screen. Let's be honest now. It's long. It's long. This saga is long. This saga is boring. This saga is frustrating. This saga is tiring. This saga is very, very tiring. Everybody at this point was gassed about the links, was gassed about the news, was gassed about everything that was coming out pertaining to this saga. But we are at the point right now where we're tired. Look at me. I'm yawning. I'm tired. I'm tired of this saga. I'm tired of this saga. I just want conclusion. And I'm sure Newcastle were tired of this saga. Newcastle want conclusion. We're all tired. We're all tired. We're all bored. This is boring now because at this point in time, Isak has not gone to the cookout. Isak has not returned calls. Isak has gone to Spain, come back from Spain, trained alone, done everything they needs to do. Said to Eddie Howe, I don't want to be at Newcastle. Newcastle is dusty. We can't improve. I don't want to just be in the Champions League. I want to win the Champions League. I believe I can do that at Liverpool. I want Liverpool only. Isak has said all these things. We are bored. We want conclusion. Is he coming or is he not coming? Is he staying or is he going? We want this saga to be concluded because we want to focus on getting all the players that we need and we want to go back to back. That's the reality of it. We want to go back to back. We want to go back to back. Okay. Due, and I'm guessing you're trying to say Cavasqueta would never be sold though. Barcola, like I said, you can never get the bad. You like all the other bad chicks are not available, but the least attractive chick out of the bad chicks is available. So you're going for the least attractive because she's still attractive. But the other chicks are taken. They got boyfriends that obviously you can still try and everybody has a price in the market of them having boyfriends and junk. But you get what I mean when I say that. You get what I mean. Like Barcola is the obtainable single girl. You get what I mean in this scenario. Okay. You see this right here. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Road to 1.5K. Smash those like buttons, people. Okay. On to this one. Okay, let's go. We went. Okay. I'm telling you, man. Rio is the replacement. Rio is the back. It's the left winger. Rio is the left winger. We need to end this. We need to get a center. Everybody knows we need a center back. That's just common knowledge. Okay. Isak deal is dragging because I can't get now. No one wants to. Like I said, they can't attract Lily Phillips, bro. Okay. Is it this one? Yeah. Well, we done this one. Okay, it's this one. Shout out to Tyler Morton's post on leaving Liverpool. All the best. Yeah, I like Tyler Morton. Good player. Hopefully, he can get a big move to the Premier League later on down the line. Very talented player. But sometimes you're just in a situation where you just have to do what's best for your career and keep on moving. Newcastle need to move fast. Only 3 weeks left till the Premier League starts. Very true. Was good. Okay. This is the comment. You know what's so funny? And this may be a hot take. I think Darwin Nunez would do a better job at a better price than Benjamin Sesko. I think Darwin, because Newcastle don't face against low blocks. There's going to be a lot of space for him to run to. They're going to be cooking in the transition. He will press and he will get them a lot. I'm not going to lie. This may be a hot take. Darwin Nunez at Newcastle would probably get like 15 goals in all competitions. 15 to 18 goals in all competition. I reckon Darwin Nunez can get numbers at Newcastle. I would have liked to see him stay in Europe because I actually want to see Darwin Nunez have a successful and fruitful career, whether it's at Liverpool or not. I like Darwin Nunez. I like players that play with their heart on their sleeve. I always gravitate to players that work hard, that work for the team, all that stuff. And I reckon he would have cooked at Newcastle. But Newcastle are trying to get chicks that don't want them. Go for people that want you, Newcastle. Okay. Let's see this. Newcastle is in the yeah, of course. Like I said, if Newcastle force Isak to stay, force him to go, all of that stuff, what people need to understand is very, very simple. He's gonna eventually leave. He's gonna eventually leave. He's going to eventually leave. He's going to eventually leave. He's going to eventually leave. Nunez is making 400K a week, and his exit route out of Saudi to a big year because it's easier. Of course, it's easier. It's easier because the contract isn't as long. Nunez didn't sign a long contract because he don't want to stay in Saudi. So what he's probably going to do, he's probably going to do a year or two. What, he's 26 now? Probably leave Saudi at around 28. Make me get a move to like a Borussia Dortmund. That would be nice for him. Remember that I said that. If that happens, remember I said that. Because Guirassy might leave. I would not be surprised if Nunez goes to the Bundesliga. He's a Bundesliga striker. And he would score 30 goals in the Bundesliga. He's a Dortmund type of guy. Transition, all the space to run into. He would cook over there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is the comment I was reading earlier. Okay. Let's see. Newcastle cannot pay the wages for top tier. That's why they are losing out on signers. No, they're losing out on signers because no one wants to play for them. And obviously, you're right. With how 58 people in the stream, slap the like button. With how FFP works, FFP doesn't help small clubs. It negates small clubs. It negates small clubs from becoming big clubs because the problem is with the whole how much you're making, profit and sustainability, all of that stuff, fan base and all that junk. It's hard. It's hard for them. Because the way FFP runs, it benefits big clubs only. It gatekeeps clubs to remain big. It makes small clubs be forced to sell certain players. And like I said, it just is what it is, you know? It just is what it is. Oh, come on, Buck. Barcola has better output than Gakpo. Why would Gakpo's output be? But Barcola is very... Because you got to look at it this way. Barcola was the starting left winger for PSG up until January, up until Kvaratskhelia joined. Barcola, every time I've seen, is very wasteful in front of goal. Gakpo doesn't generate as many chances as a... Let me fix the lighting. Okay, let me fix this. Gakpo doesn't generate as many chances as a Bradley Barcola. Let me fix this. Okay, that's better. What's the lighting is so shit. Barcola doesn't generate as many chances as the players will talk. Hold on 1 minute. This is actually bothering me. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, is this better? It's still shit. Oh well. Okay, is it better if I go like this? Let me see. Nope, it's still shit. Okay. Let me just... Okay, it is what it is. By ends after anyway, regardless of what happens. Okay. That's too high up. Down a bit. Don't mind me, guys, just adjusting the camera a bit. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay. All right. I don't fucking know. Okay. The line's kind of after. Wait. Let's put it directly here. You know what? I know how to fix this. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Can I find the other one here? No, I cannot. I can't find what I'm looking for. Oh well. Let me see this. Oh well. It is what it is. Lions left. Okay. Don't know how to fix it. Let me try this again. Hold on 1 second, guys. This is actually bothering me. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. 1 second, guys. But yeah, Bradley Barcola is a good player. No one's denying that. And he has better numbers than let me see if this just works. He has better numbers than too much shadowness. He has better numbers than he has better numbers than Gakpo because he started the first 6 months for PSG, and obviously he's playing in a league that I'm gonna blank. He's playing in a league that produces that is easier. That's what I'm trying to say. He's playing in an easier league. That's the point I'm trying to say. BSR has its flaws, but it makes clubs use their revenue, and that's why I said it hurts small clubs because small clubs are stuck as small clubs. Small clubs can't do shit. They're stuck as small clubs because now, if Palace get rich owners, Palace owners can't do anything because they just stop being Crystal Palace because they don't have the fan base of a Liverpool, which Liverpool benefited over the old regime. Man United have benefited over the old regime. That's why they were able to be big, because the history of football has shown the biggest clubs, guys, have always been the richest. Have always been the ones that are able to spend the most, because that's how sports work. And it's not just about spending most, it's about spending smartly and wisely. Nunez does suit their play style. Okay. Let's see this. Newcastle can still go in for Nunez. No, they can't. The deal's done. They probably have to go in for him like next year. And at that point, it just be tax evasion? Because now you put Nunez in a situation where he's made a massive sum of money, but he hasn't left the league long enough to actually retain the money. Okay, let's see this one. Is it this one I want to look at? Nunez will definitely like to join. He would have. He wanted to stay in the Prem. He wanted to not even the Prem. He wanted to stay in Europe, but we kind of gave him no option. I guarantee you, when the pictures come out of him leaving, he's going to be crying because Nunez is a very emotional guy. The league is shafting Newcastle with all this BS PSR shit when being taken over, but let me City do whatever it took to get to the top by giving money under. Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't say the league is. It's just like I said, the rules only benefit big clubs. Newcastle provided by Newcastle. We want to thank them for supplying us with right. Like, you know what it is, yeah. There's a food chain in football. Everybody can be got. Everybody can be got. No matter who you are, no matter how big you think you are, unless you're Real Madrid, unless you're Barcelona, anyone can be got. And that's what it is. It's a players' league. If a player don't want to play for a club, you can't make him play for that club. Even if you wanted, even if you tried, you can't make him play for that club. You can't. You just can't. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I'm looking right now, yeah. It is what it is. There's a lot of moving pieces that's happening, man. Man United are trying to get back to the top. Arsenal are trying to get depth. Newcastle are trying to enter the fray, where they're trying to be rivals to us, man. But they can't be rivals to us because they just ain't built like that. They just ain't built like that. They just aren't that guys. No one believes in your project. No one believes in your sustainability. No one believes in you as a club, as an organization. No one believes in them. And it just is what it is. You guys can't attract anybody. Like, go like Newcastle, yeah. Can you do me a favor? Go for Mark Gahey so we can speed up the process of signing. Because we know Mark, like we probably told Mark Gate, you know, it's Newcastle, bro. Wait a bit. Yeah. We're gonna collect him maybe January, maybe on a free, but come on, you want to go and play for these bombs? Man, there's a whole 11 of players that don't want to play for them. Like that's just me being honest. Like, and when you see players constantly getting rejected, like why would anyone want to go there? Like as bad as Man United are, a team that are battling relegation, man, no one wants to play them. I think Newcastle have been done. Yeah, they have. They can't do shit, and no one wants to play for them. It's just is what it is. It's because of the City PSR. It's because of City PSR. City just pulled the ladder from beneath them. City are Newcastle are the first clubs to suffer for that. Exactly. Having rich owners don't mean nothing. Let's be honest here. Having rich owners don't mean anything. What does rich owners mean in this day and age of football? They can't show their power or they might. You got to spend within the means. Ivan Toney. What about Ivan Toney? Newcastle think they're bigger than what they are. Because of their owners, but there's no bigger in England than Liverpool and Man United. Newcastle are a little fish, man. When Liverpool, let me tell you something, yeah. Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Those 5 teams, they can be more attractive to any player. They could beat each other for any player. Those 5 teams I named, they could beat each other for any player. Everybody outside of those 5 teams in the Premier League, they can't compete with them. If you're not part of the elite category of these 5 teams I named, you cannot appeal to any big player. If you're not Chelsea, you can't beat Liverpool to a race. If you're not Man United, okay, Man United not really in the conversation because they're kind of shitty right now. Okay, if you're not Chelsea, if you're not Arsenal, if you're not City, you can't chat to teams like Liverpool and Man United. You can't chat to them. And the reason why I say that is you got to be one of those teams to beat us to a race. You got to be one of those teams to beat us to a race. Because obviously, when you got Chelsea, they got the appeal of the City and Chelsea with them there for a contract, so it gives you a lot of financial security. There's a lot of things that come into effect. And obviously, selling on the project. Chelsea know how to sell their project. Chelsea, for the most part, rarely get rejected. If they get rejected, they know how to hide it. Newcastle, they get rejected in front of a crowd of people. They're like the dude that proposes on one knee in front of everybody, and the chick says no. That's Newcastle. Everybody sees you get rejected. Everybody sees you that you're not wanted. Everybody sees that you're not those guys, and it just is what it is. It just is what it is. Like honestly, it just is what it is. Okay, this transfer saga for Newcastle fans has been very humbling, which is good as you see how much chest they were giving. And I didn't understand it because they barely scraped top 4. If Nottingham Forest didn't lose, Nottingham Forest, was it Nottingham Forest or Villa? One of those 2 teams. If they did what they needed to do, they would have been top 4. And Newcastle would have been, because what people forget, Newcastle started off very slow this season. They just became good towards the end. It's just they're trying to compete with players that we want. They're trying to compete with players that the big teams want. And you compete with players that the big team wants, you will lose the battle because you're not in that exclusive category. You're not a big team at all. And like I said, it is what it is. It really is what it is. But I wanna touch on Harvey Elliott and Nunez because I haven't really touched on it that much. And by the flow of this stream and how everything's going, I don't think there's really much to talk about because for the most part, we are regurgitating the same information. Like from a Liverpool standpoint, there's not really that much going on. You know what I mean? There's not really that much going on. But Yeah. Let's talk. Okay. Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott will be missed. But for the betterment of his career, he has to leave Liverpool. If we can slap a buyback clause, if we can slap a good sell-on clause, then it's gonna be a good deal. I would say we should sell him for no less than 50 mil, and maybe a sell-on clause on top of that, or maybe 40 million and a sell-on clause or a buyback clause, something along them lines. Buyback for what, 60 mil? Something attainable, something that's not too crazy. But yeah, it's time for Harvey Elliott to go for the betterment of his career, and for the fact that I feel like I want to see him do well. Obviously, I would like him to stay at Liverpool, but the game time ain't going to be there. The game time when he had all the right and all the reason to play just wasn't there because Slot did not rate him. And it just is what it is. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Okay, let's look at more comments. Newcastle's problem attracting players could be Eddie Howe. Okay manager, but not elite. Plus wages are limited, not selling the project. For what I've heard from the Go Indie, the issue has been, and then after this, I'm going to touch on Nunez real quick. The issue has been, for the Sesko thing. Apparently, they didn't talk to Sesko, and since they didn't talk to Sesko, Man United waited for the players' clearance. It showed that they were more applicants to selling on the project. The problem with Newcastle is Eddie Howe is an okay manager, but is Ruben Amorim, based on what you've seen, that much better than Eddie Howe? Yes, he's done something for Sporting, but Eddie Howe is still a good manager. But I don't know what they're saying to them on the project and whatnot, but the project ain't projecting. You get what I mean? The project ain't really appealing to them. And like I said, it is what it is, man. It's just like one of those things where they gotta go back and reassess their pitching points. You know, when you're trying to apply for a job and you're not getting any looks, you gotta reshuffle your CV, and that's what they gotta do. Tunes are definitely in need of a sporting director, someone who knows how to negotiate and how. Do you know what it is? Yeah, negotiating ain't the problem. The problem is players don't want to play for them. Players like they could agree a fee. They played above and beyond, but no one wants to play for them. That's the problem. It just is what it is. Okay, big name players will also look at the coach and Eddie Howe and present as the typical. Like I said, man, it's the clubs they're competing with. Like Weiser's on strike. He wants to go to Newcastle. Jackson probably will want to go to Newcastle. It's the players they're trying to compete for. That's the problem. Okay. What was I looking at? Okay. Nunez was just waiting for his medical. Nunez is just waiting for his medical left to do before it's official. Yeah. Nunez is saying his goodbyes and whatnot. Like me, like I said, I like Nunez. Heart on his sleeve. Gave us some great moments, man. The goal against Newcastle, the 2 goals against Newcastle, great moments. The goal against Brentford, was great as well, to win us the game. And obviously the goal against Nottingham Forest last year. It's just a shame that it didn't work out. One player I really wanted to see it work for him. But sometimes you just go to a club, and I've experienced this as a player myself, where the environment just ain't a good fit. It just ain't a good fit, and Liverpool want a good fit for him, man. And shit like that happens. It just is what it is. Slot press conference today. What time is the press conference? And yeah, I might look into that to see what you got to say in it. Okay. Elliott's time at Liverpool is done. 45 million. We'll buy back close. I'll take that. That's a good sell. I'll be sorry to see Elliot go. Yeah, like I said, man, it's just one of those things, man, where you just got to accept what it is. I'm seeing people say they don't want Bradley Barcola. People don't want Bradley Barcola because they want Isak. They want Isak. That's really what it is. They want Isak. But yeah, man, not really a lot to say. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on? If there's nothing you guys want to touch on, I might have to wrap up the stream here because, like I said, there's not really a lot to talk about. There's not really a lot to cover. It's tomorrow 9 a.m. Oh yeah, because what? We got the game on Sunday, which I will be available for. I'm looking forward to that game on Sunday. Just like I said, just reacclimating myself back to the UK time zone and whatnot. But yeah. Okay, let's see what more people are saying. Nunez, the only player in Premier League history to hit the woodwork 4 times. You know what's crazy? The thing about goal scoring, you need luck on your side. Imagine if all the times Nunez hit the woodwork went in. There was a season when Van Persie scored 15 goals. And that was like the Van Persie has arrived season. And that season he hit the woodwork just a little bit below what Nunez did. But yeah, like I said, it's just one of those things where like it just didn't work out. But anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Giving you guys 46 minutes. I feel like that's good for a morning stream. Obviously, if everything was popping and there was so much to talk about, would have preferably have gone for an hour. But considering the situation, hello. Make sure you can hear me. Okay, considering the situation, let me make sure I'm being able to be heard because it said my mic disconnected. Let me just make sure about that. Let me make sure. Okay, we're good. Okay. Considering the situation of what's happened, there's not really a lot to do. Okay, let me just wrap up the final few comments before we wrap up the stream. Need that Konate pen to paper is dragging, yeah, because Liverpool are trying to haggle of how much they want to pay him. But anyways, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, if there was a lot to talk about, the stream would be longer, but there's not really much to say. Maybe there will be some stuff to talk about in the evening stream. Obviously, guys, it's early in the day, so news. Okay. Before I go, for the guys I've stayed, there's one thing that we got to keep an eye on. And I'm going to show you guys this. And this is the thing. Keep an eye out for this. Keep an eye out for this. Because shit tonight is about to get crazy. But anyways, guys, make sure you like, subscribe, watch the playback. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next stream.